are happening now. Breaking news. This is happening today. This is right now the most breaking news. I mean, Russia, the entire government has basically resigned, and under pressure from Vladimir Putin, and this is a very dangerous moment. I'd like to hear what you guys have to think about and what your thoughts on this most recent news.
I'm really conflicted over this because in some ways you can see that at least the government, the parliament of Russia, is stating, okay, this is what we need to have happen. We've had the entire government resign, which is alarming to anyone from outside of, I don't know, reality. But they're in line with exactly what Putin wanted. Putin wanted to say, just as he did 2 days prior, that he wanted to put more power into those that were electing the president, and that Parliament essentially is now forced to elect those that are put forward. And so what that means is he was empowering himself, because he's about to step down from the role, from his current role, and in term for 2 service.
He's basically positioning himself to continue being the leader of Russia.
He just became the Tsar. Again, the people of Russia suffered under the Tsar system. They got communism. They thought they got rid of it. And now this guy comes in and says, forget your liberty, forget your freedoms, forget whatever the hell you think you have. I'm back, and it's Tsar Putin. And I think that's disgusting. It really is. And I think as a country, our country and the world have to condemn what this man is doing, because he's a dangerous person. It is dangerous for the world. He is a man that has absolutely shown no respect towards anybody. And he wants to bring back Russia to the glorious Soviet Union era. And I think that's very alarming, because it's bringing our country into a possible conflict with that type of government.
I'm hyper interested now, because if Al were here, he would point out the idea that you're against Putin. Is that what you said?
Yes, okay. Very much against him.
But Putin and Trump, you're a Trump supporter, right?
Yeah, I am.
So there's a strong relationship that a lot of our viewers will put together between Putin and Trump, but you're against one and for the other.
I don't think there is. As a matter of fact, if you remember, it was during the President Obama that quietly he said to Medvedev, wait until I get reelected so we can deal.
And I will have more leverage.
I think there's a problem that the United States historically has had with Russia, is that we really don't understand their culture. You need to understand that Russia has always had the complex of being the imperial royal family, the imperial Russia, Mother Russia, if you may. And people need to understand that didn't go away with the fall of communism or the fall of Soviet Union. To begin with, Putin was a member of the yes, he was.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So why should you care so much about what's happening within Russia? Isn't it their right as a country to do what they choose to do without, let me finish,
well, great question.
Without
actually,
interference from Trump, from you, from anybody outside of Russia?
I'm going to tell you.
It's a sovereign country.
It is a sovereign country.
Let them live their lives.
Except that they have nuclear weapons.
So do we.
Except that they have been, a country have been aggressively
there are many
opposing and attacking
There
our
are many
freedom
countries
and
that have
democracy.
nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
There are many countries that have leaders you might not like, I might not like.
Absolutely.
That's their country.
It is
We
their
don't
country.
need
However,
to be involved. We need to worry about our country.
Well, wait a minute. We do need to worry about our country, and the way we need to worry about our country is to secure that every nation around the world has the opportunity to develop democracy, freedom for all. Oh, it isn't. That's why we should not be the
Okay, well, I'm going to interject. Number one, I agree with Dr. Steve with an America First philosophy that we need to put our country first.
Absolutely.
Now, number one, when it comes to Russia, I want to say that I'm thankful that America is the number one now in both natural gas and oil, because the more energy independence that we have, the less power that Russia has against us.
Yes.
And number two, I believe that we need to take a stance with Russia very similar to Iran, where we do not we are not in the business of regime change. What we should do is we should let the Russian people know that we stand with them and that you need to be the resistance against Putin. And if you stand against the Ayatollah like the Iranian people do, then you should be out marching in the streets against his dictatorial position.
You know, Romney said during the campaign against for re-election during Obama's campaign, he said the biggest danger we had as Americans was Russia. And they all know you're lying, Russia's
Yes,
not.
he
And
did.
you know what? At the end of the day, we have an enemy, and it's Russia. No matter what we do, let them do whatever the hell they want.
Let's table the idea that Russia is our enemy, because that's been the trend and the topic of conversation ever since Trump has been elected, right?
Yep.
So
Well, for good reason.
and for good reason. So we
I
can
don't know if
debate.
it's for good reason.
I mean, we can debate that another time. But what do you think right now? And
Steve wants to.
This is again, without being distracted. Right now, we're talking about an entire parliament that is going to resign, leaving Vladimir Putin, probably one of our fiercest, I guess, aggressions out in the world, right? And I call them an aggression because let's not.
Absolutely.
Let's not
You've got this from the two
mince words.
conservatives.
Look at
That's a big
Ukraine.
statement that you're. Yeah, I mean, you're more liberal than the two conservatives that are here.
I'm the purple one at the table.
are
Remember?
stating that they agree with you on that front. But
Not all
Putin's
conservatives
absolutely
agree with that.
But that being said, let's really. What do you guys think is the message that he's sending to the world right now?
I am God. I am almighty. I am powerful. Screw you. You're going to mess with me. I'm going to tell you how you're going to deal with me. And if you don't like it, you're going to face Mother Russia. That's the message it's giving. Scaring everybody around him. Scaring all those nations that once were part of the Soviet Union. Armenia, Belarus, and all these countries which are now trembling, saying, oh my Lord, anytime we can lose our democracy or freedom, like Poland, Hungary, all these nations must be concerned.
So what do you propose doing then?
Well,
What
I'll
do
tell
you
you,
think the United States should do?
I think I do agree with you. The United States ought to have a firm stand and say, you know what? You are an enemy of democracy. You are a threat. Don't mess with us.
Or what?
Help the people.
Or what?
Help
Or
the
else?
people.
Or else what?
I'm going to tell you
Go to war?
exactly. No,
You wanna go to
first-
war
no,
with
no,
them?
Wait a minute. It
So
has
you're
nothing
taking
to
a
do
hard
with war.
line, but what are you
No.
proposing?
The best way, and it's being proven right now, the best way that we have as a country, as Americans, it's called our wallet. It calls economical.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to tell you
Napoleon, I
I
think
can't
you
buy it.
have
That's
something you want to say.
Yeah,
Jump in there.
I agree with you. It's just I've got to ask. So you support Trump. You support Trump.
Absolutely.
But you
I
also,
do.
you're both saying that you don't, it's the same question I asked you earlier. You're saying that you don't support Russia, you don't support Putin. And I'm confused as to, especially in this story, how you can split the hair between the one versus the other. And especially for you, because if you support
I
Trump, how
don't
can you say that?
understand how they're similar. I mean, that would be like
I don't
saying
understand
that the Democrat Party is in line with Ukraine when Joe Biden tried to withhold money from Ukraine to get his son,
Right.
have the prosecutor fired who was investigating Burisma. I just don't think
You don't see a connection, you don't see any
Okay, guys, I see this conversation.
You see no connection between Putin
then I
and
would
Trump?
say the Democrat Party is in line with Ukraine.
I see this
if you wanna use that.
conversation
Is that how you
could
support
spiral
Trump?
out of control, and before we create an internal war, we haven't even we don't
there's
even
no
have the
war. There's just
we're
hair
only a
flipping.
few minutes into the show right now.